Situated action. When designing objects, spaces, systems or experiences, it's important to keep in mind that user experiences with these things are always influenced by a surrounding network of other things. That is, our actions are situated. But even more deeply than that, what we know about a situation influences our actions. Knowing is inseparable from doing, and all knowledge is situated in activity bound to social, cultural and physical contexts. The person who is most famous for using the term situated action is the researcher Lucy Suchman. In her 1987 book, titled Plans and Situated Actions, The Problem of Human-Machine Communication, she wrote about the importance of actions being situated, rather than thinking that objects and systems exist independently of either their contexts or of our interactions with them. She was a pioneer of what we now call user testing and user-centered design. Suchman conducted this research in the 1970s and 80s at a famous research centre called Xerox Park, which stood for Palo Alto Research Center. It was located in California. This was a centre where many computer innovations were born, including object-oriented programming, Ethernet networking, the desktop interface metaphor, and the associated Windows visual interface, famously adopted by Apple for the Macintosh computer and then by Microsoft for the Windows operating system. Xerox were a photocopier company, and Suchman's research analysed video footage of people using photocopiers and trying to understand their frustrations. She had the then radical idea that maybe if we're building technology for people, you should watch them using it. Extrapolating from observations such as this, Suchman concluded that the contexts in which we undertake actions were much more complex and more significant than previously imagined. Another important point arising from Suchman's research is that human activities are often improvisational, and that people respond dynamically to external conditions. This point was made earlier in the 1960s by the anthropologist Claude Levi-Strauss, who described such improvisational use of tools as bricolage. These claims were inconsistent with the dominant notion at those times that people keep maps about the world in their memory, and that we think our way through the world by navigating those maps. In contrast, a situated approach suggests that we rely on our surroundings to remind us and guide us. We use our situatedness to reduce the cognitive load of doing activities. A simple example that we often don't rely on our memory to locate our coffee cup. We simply look around to see it. We utilize the external environment, the real cup, to scaffold our actions of locating our cup. People's actions are both embodied, that is, the mind and the body work in a coordinated way, and they are situated. William Clancy, in his book titled Situated Cognition, summarizes this point. He says, "All human action is at least partially improvisatory by direct coupling of perceiving, conceiving, and moving, a coordination mechanism unmediated by descriptions of associations, laws, or procedures." End of quote. The term coupling in this quote implies that things are linked together in relationships that are codependent and need to be coordinated. As interaction designers or media artists, our job is to create interactions that take into account the situation in which they will be used. We design situated interactions with an awareness of how people dynamically respond to their surroundings.